Okay, whenever I went to see John Wick 4, I didn't expect that he'd be in a Santa Claus outfit the whole time. Wait. Oh, wrong movie. I saw Violent Night. So I just saw Violent Night, and I very much enjoyed this movie. It's definitely not going to be for everyone. First of all, it's very violent, so, I mean, that already limits the amount of people who can see it. This isn't a kid's movie. Although, similar to a fashion like Deadpool 2 called itself a family movie, I feel like this is a family movie. I feel like if you go see this with your family, you'll have a good time, because it is a Christmas movie. It's a very violent Christmas movie, but a Christmas movie nonetheless. One thing that I thought the whole time while watching the movie was, man, I feel like this is John Wick, but with Santa Claus. So that kind of gives you a look into the action / violence that's in this movie. There's a lot of different very planned out kills, where mainly Santa Claus, but some of the other characters too, all basically kill / hurt the bad guys in different creative ways. And we see this from the very beginning. Just for an example, in the very beginning, the first guy, well, not the first guy, but one of the first guys who Santa ends up killing, he basically ends up finally he hurts him a bunch, but then he ends up doing him in by sticking the star from a Christmas tree into his eye and plugging it in, so it basically electrocutes him, and then he gets set on fire. So yeah, this movie is not realistic whatsoever. It's very campy, but it's good. It's funny, and it's very entertaining. As for the characters in this movie, there wasn't anyone to stand out, except for obviously Santa, Trudy Lightstone, and then Mr. Scrooge, he's referred to as in the movie, which is the main bad guy of the movie. Oh boy, Santa. Santa is so much fun to watch in this movie. Now, he is the real Santa. He has different magical Christmas powers. And he's also a badass when it comes to fighting. Now, spoiler alert, okay? The reason why Santa is such a badass is because he used to be this, great warrior. It seemed like he was pretty much, from what we were shown, he was this, rampaging Viking who was a very skilled warrior, and he eventually gave up this life and then became Santa Claus, as to almost make up for all the lives he took. He then would go on to make so many people happy, as to almost make up for that. But back to his character, he's rough and grizzled. He has an attitude, and he has a dirty sense of humor, too. He's basically just your average old man, kind of, but he's also Santa Claus, and it's just very funny to see him doing different things, like just downing a beer because he's had a long day, and then he gets back to doing his Christmas duties, and he then becomes this uber badass taking these guys out. So that was just great to see. Trudy Lightstone is the daughter of the son of the Lightstone family and his wife. And she's basically just your innocent little girl who just is happy that it's Christmas, and she's happy to be with family and all that. And she basically just wants to like talk to Santa throughout this movie. And her main thing is she doesn't really want anything for Christmas. She just wants her parents to get back together because they are kind of separated. Her character, besides just being adorable, is very fun to watch because she actually talks through Santa throughout the whole movie, and she even ends up helping him out, which is just cool to see. But yeah, she was one of the more standout characters in the movie because of her communication with Santa and just being one of the main characters of the movie. As for Mr. Scrooge, he was alright. We do get some backstory, which I'm not going to go into. But basically, there's a reason why he kind of hates Christmas and why he hates Santa. And it's a sad reason, but other than that, he does make a decent villain. He's entertaining to watch. He has some funny moments. But I mean, other than his like little bit of backstory, he just kind of feels one note. He's like, oh, I hate Christmas. Oh, I want to steal this money. But like, it also works because this movie isn't necessarily supposed to have this big bad guy with these huge plans and ideas and all this meaning behind it. It's just a funny, mindless movie. It's enjoyable to watch. So, I mean, Mr. Scrooge, he works for it. And I mean, there are other character moments for the other characters, but a lot of the other characters are more so just comic relief and for gags and whatnot, especially the one son who's like an influencer. He's just funny to watch get shit on. But besides that, the characters all have their moments, but those are really the ones that interested me. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. It was just a fun time to watch and see the silliness and the camp and the absurdity of it all. It made for a good action movie, and it also just made for a good comedy, good time. So yeah, I enjoyed the characters for the most part. At least Santa, I mean, he was the only one I was really looking to grab onto, and he really was pretty much the only one, but that's okay because that's all I needed. And they even gave him this like backstory and stuff with the Christmas magic, which he didn't even fully understand, which was funny. But yeah, that was just cool. And I honestly wanted a little more of that, but you'll see why if you go see the movie. But yeah, overall, I think that I'm gonna give this movie 8 smackaroonies out of 10. It's a really good time, really fun time to watch, really mindless and just enjoyable. It's not perfect, so it doesn't get 9 or 10 stars, but you know, it was really good, and I don't think I can reasonably give it any lower than an 8 out of 10, just because like it was just a good movie. And to be honest, once this movie is out of theaters, while it's not for everyone and while not all families would watch it during Christmas, yeah, I could honestly see this being a Christmas movie that people watch, maybe not every year, but every other year or every couple years. Because at the end of the day, it is still a Christmas movie, and it kind of does have that Christmas magic within it. So, yeah. Anyways, with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Oh, Santa's coming tonight, tonight. Santa's coming tonight. Santa's coming tonight, tonight. Santa's coming tonight.
Come on, everybody. Let's sing till Santa gets here.
Santa's coming tonight, tonight. Santa's coming tonight.